Welcome back everyone to another video in our construction engineering course. In this video, we are going to learn about the difference between crashing and fast tracking. In our last lecture, we talked about earned value analysis, and we learned that it is one of the methods to measure the performance of our project and to find out if we are ahead or behind the schedule. Of course, if we are ahead of the schedule, then we just keep doing whatever we are doing, because clearly it is working well. But what if we found that we are behind the schedule? Then we should come up with some kind of adjustment to compress our schedule so we can catch up with the delay and go back to being on schedule. And to carry out schedule compression, we have two main methods to do that, which are crashing and fast tracking. In this lecture, we are going to learn what is the difference between both methods and when to use each one of them. Crashing is a technique used to shorten the period required for any activity, simply by adding more resources to it. For example, here we have activity A and activity B. Each one of those activities had 2 labors assigned to each one, and they were supposed to take 6 days each to be completed. So we need a total of 12 days for both activities to be carried out. If we want to crash this schedule, we can just add more labors to each activity. So now we have 4 labors on each activity, and now each activity will take 4 days only instead of 6 days. So by this way we manage to save total of 2 days in each activity, which means we get to finish both activities in 8 days only instead of 12 days, and now we have 4 days of saving. But here we need to notice multiple points. First point, this technique must be applied only to activities on the critical path, because it is useless to waste the resources to do it to activities that already have float, because shortening their duration will not change the overall duration of the project anyway. Second point is that the gain from adding resources will not be linear and will always have a limit. I mean, in this example, the 2 labors finish the activity in 6 days, but the 4 labors finish the activity in 4 days, not 3. And if you add another 4 labors, maybe they can finish it in 3 days. But after that, no matter how many labors you add, you will not reduce the duration for the activity. And maybe you can even increase it, because adding too many useless resources to any activity could be a source of distraction and end up with a negative effect. So, as a planner, it is very important not to exceed that limit. And the last point is that adding resources means spending more money, which means that this method is possible if the project is under budget. But if your project is already over budget, this will be very hard, because you will not be able to spend more money on more resources. The second method we will learn is fast tracking. And in this method, we will not add any more resources to any activity. However, what we are going to do is starting the second activity with a lead of 2 days instead of waiting for the first activity to finish, which means that now both activities are going to take 10 days to be completed instead of 12 days, and now we have time saving of 2 days. Of course, this is not possible in all activities, because sometimes it is physically impossible to start in activity B without fully finalizing activity A first. But sometimes this could mean that the contractor will start ordering specific material without waiting for the final approval, which means that this is an additional risk to the contractor, because it may result on rework. So here we have a quick comparison between both methods. In crashing, the sequence of the activities remains the same, while in fast tracking it gets changed. In crashing, we need to add more resources, while in fast tracking, we don't need any additional resources. Crashing must be applied to activities on the critical path only, but it could work with any activity, while fast tracking works only with activities that could be overlapped. And finally, crashing increases the cost, while fast tracking increases the risk. So this is the end of our video and our chapter. In our next chapter, we will learn about different methods for cost and schedule estimation, as well as many other interesting topics such as earthwork estimation and construction safety. So, this is it for our video today. See you in our next video. Thank you.